Welcome to the short tutorial for making advanced class requests online. The first thing you need to do is open a web browser and go to the Origami USA website. We want to make sure that you are signed in to your user account, and you can see here I am, and now I am ready to look at making some class requests online. I want to go to this pull-down menu from the Events menu bar and scroll down to Conventions and then scroll over to Convention 2019. Now we have a web page that shows us everything you need to know about convention. We're going to concern ourselves with ticketing classes. The first page we want to look at is My Convention. So we click on that tab and we see a sidebar of menus. And the one you want to click on is My Classes. When you click on that, you're going to see a page that comes up. And here you can see I have done no classes yet, but I am signed up for all days, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. If you are not signed up for a particular day, it will not show up. You will not be able to request classes for that day. So make sure you sign up when you register to take classes for the days that you would really like to take classes. The next menu we want to look at is About Classes. And there's all sorts of things that you can look at on this pull-down tab menu. One is Taking Classes. That is a general overview. Teaching classes, if you're interested in that. Broadcast classes, if you're not attending convention. And Frequently Asked Questions, which is really a great resource if you're having questions or problems. And then here finally, how to make changes on site if you don't get what you want. And there's lots of documentation about that. The next thing you can look at is the class schedule menu. And here we will have links to previews and downloads, the Saturday schedule, Sunday schedule, and Monday schedule. Here is where you can find, and I'm clicking on the Saturday schedule, you can find a picture menu of everything that's being taught, the times, the name of the class, who's teaching it, who created the model, everything you need to know to help you register for your online classes. But first we're going to go back to the About Classes pages, and we're going to look at Taking Classes. And there's some things on here that can help you with figuring out how to request your classes online. The first thing is, here's a printable document that will tell you everything you need to know. It's a very detailed outline of how to request your class and make your class selections. There's also a video, which you are on right now. There is also what we call an annotated worksheet, and I'm going to click on that to show you because I'm going to talk about that right now. Here is an explanation of the worksheet, but here's the worksheet that you can print off, and it will help you if you're one of those people that like to write it down, you're not computer savvy so much. This will help you figure out what classes, what order you want to take them in. And it'll be a great resource for you. So here we go. We're going to get started. And we have the printable document all empty. So what I've done to save time in this video is I have already lined out the classes that I want to take. I've written them down, the days that they are, the times that they are. And this will help me when I start going to request my classes. So I've done that for Saturday, I've done that for Sunday, and also Monday. As you notice, I have a lot of requests. We suggest that you make as many requests as you are interested in taking classes. More the better. There is no limit. Kind of as a rule of thumb, you want to make at least 10 to 15 suggestions for each day. Okay, we're ready to begin the selection process. Whether you filled out your annotated list or not, you just prefer to do it from computer, what we're going to do next is go to My Convention again and scroll down to My Classes and select that. Now you can see my name comes up with my class lists, which I haven't requested anything yet. What I want to do now is I am going to first look at request classes for Saturday. The first method of selecting classes is just by typing in the name of the class that you would like. So I'm going to take my list that I have and I'm going to start typing in one of the names of the classes that I'm interested in, which was the tree. And you can see when I type in tree, all these choices come down in a drop-down box. And I'm going to choose the one that I'm interested in, which is Tree by Viviane Berthet. And once I see it in here, I can then click on, and let me zoom in on this so you can see, there is a little button that says Request Class. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I get this little green box that says that that particular class has been added to my request list. And you can see down here in this box for Saturday that indeed I do have the tree class on Saturday. All right. Okay, now we're ready to make our class selections or our requests. We're going to go down to My Convention again, and we're going to choose My Classes. When I choose that, a window will open up that will show me all the classes that I've requested. Since I haven't requested anything, everything is blank. What I want to do first is start requesting classes for Saturday. Right, the first method you can use to request classes is if you already know the names of the classes, you've written them down or you've looked at the schedule and you know the name of the class that you're going to take, you can just type it in. So one of the classes I wrote down that I'm interested in is Viviane Berthet's Tree. So you see when I type in tree, I get a whole list of classes that have the word tree in them. So I know that the tree I wanted was Viviane Berthet's at 2 p.m. And I'm going to make sure I click on that and make sure that it ends up in this box. And it does. Now I'm not finished yet. I need to go ahead and click on the box that says Request Class. If you can see, my cursor is over this, and I'm going to click on Request Class. After I do that, I get a green menu bar that shows me that it has been added to my request list. And if I look down here, it's not only in my whole list, but it's also in my Saturday list. The computer does that automatically. This is the list that shows all the classes all weekend. And then it's also broken down by day. All right, the second way of requesting classes is to look at the visual menu. So I'm going to click on Saturday. And you can see that takes me to this nice visual menu. One of the classes that I'm interested in, if I scroll down, I see I had written down that I'm interested in the panda. So I'm going to put my cursor in this box and click on it. And here comes a very detailed description of that class. But in addition, if you look carefully, you look down and there's a box that says request this class. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that because I want it, and I'm going to request that class. So if I go back to my classes, my class request page, now I don't see that that class has been added from the visual menu. But what I need to do now is save my preference order. And once I do that, you'll see that the symbol panda has been added. So that's one little additional step you need to do after you have chosen from the visual menu. You have to click Save Preference Order. So you always want to be making sure that you save what you do, the preference order, the classes. If you see a save button, go ahead and click it to make sure that everything you've requested has been saved. Now that I've shown you the two main methods of requesting classes, I'm going to turn off my video and I'm going to request a bunch of classes in the interest of time so that then I can show you how to arrange them in preference order. Okay, I'm back and I have typed in and requested everything that I'm interested in taking. This first list, very long list, shows all the classes that I'm interested in taking throughout the entire weekend. The second list is my Saturday, then my Sunday, then my Monday classes. One thing that I notice as I look at my list is that my list is in the order that I typed them in or that I selected them. But this is not the order of priority for me. For example, even though Tree by Vivian Berthe I typed in first, it may not be my top choice. And what we want to do now is put our list in order from our most wanted class to our most least wanted class. And that's what I'm going to show you how to do now. For example, if the urchin was the class that I wanted the most over the whole entire weekend, the days that I have signed up for, I'm going to move it up to the very top of the list. Okay, here I get a message that tells me changes made to this table will not be saved until the form is submitted. And we also want to click Save Preference Order. All right, now it is saved. I now have urchin as my top choice. Well, I notice that it's a Saturday class, so if I go down here and look, the urchin has been moved up to the #1 spot in my Saturday requests. All right, now I'm looking at my list and I'm thinking, there's one on Sunday that I really, really like, which is Chloe Star. And I want it to be my second choice, so I'm going to scroll it up here using these arrows on the side. And you may, oops, and I put it above the urchin, which I don't want it to do, so I'm putting my cursor over here and I'm dragging it back down so that now it is my second choice. And I'm going to zoom in on that. So let me show you this a little bit closer up. When you put your cursor over these little, what looks like plus signs, it gets dark. That means that then you can drag it up or down, changing the order of your classes. If we look down here now on Sunday, Chloe Star has been moved to the top of Sunday's list. You notice that you are only able to rearrange the selections from the whole list. You're not able to rearrange your selections on a particular day. Like I am not able to move Crane up here to the top of my Saturday list. If I want it up at the top, then I'm going to have to move it up here with all my preferences. I want to make sure that every time I make a change, I click on Save Preference Order. Now, one of the things that you might have noticed, and I will do it again so you can see this, is when I make a change, I get this message that says it will not be saved until the form is submitted. What that means is you need to save the preference order. There is no submit button. Once you have saved everything and you close out of the website, it will be saved. You don't have to submit the form. The only thing that won't be saved is if you did not click Save Preference Order after you made a change. So you want to make sure you do that every single time. So at the bottom of your list should be all the classes that you're not super excited about taking, but you would be interested in taking them if you can't get your top choices. You want to make sure that you have enough choices for each time period so that you don't end up with an empty space in your schedule. A couple of other things I'd like to point out to you. At any time, if you decide that you don't want to take this class anymore, you can move your cursor over here to the sidebar, over here on the right-hand side, and you can click on Remove that class. So if I click on Remove, then that class will no longer be listed in my request anymore. Again, I want to always make sure to save preference order. Even if I thought I did, I went ahead and did it anyway to make sure that any changes I made are saved. You can always go back if you think you don't have enough requests. You can always go back and request some more by clicking on this visual menu again. So that is the basics of how to request classes. I hope it is clear. I am now going to turn off the camera and let the computer process my requests. After the request deadline is done, the computer will do that and then process all this data and give me my list of classes that I actually got. I'm back. I have submitted all my classes and waited for the deadline to pass, and the website team has implemented the program that assigns classes. And so now classes are assigned to everyone. And I'm going to go check and see what I got. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this a little bit better. I'm going to go to my convention and then scroll down to my classes. When I click on that, I get that same page, except now it doesn't show me my request, it shows me my class assignments. And these are the classes that I will be able to take at convention. It's possible when you get to convention, if you look at the model menu and you see something that you changed your mind, there is the opportunity to try to add and drop classes depending on availability. Some classes do not fill up and you might be able to change out one class for another. You can see, or I can see, that I got my first choice. One of the great features of this program is that the computer, the algorithm, assigns everyone like the NFL draft, rather than one person getting all their selections and then another person, and so on and so forth. They go from one person to the next, filling all the first choices and then going round robin again. It's a great, fair system. Last year we had over 90% of our attendees do the online ticketing system and found it very easy and also rewarding that they didn't have the stress of standing in line on Saturday or Sunday morning. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you didn't understand and you're still having problems, don't stress. There are plenty of people that can help you out. You can email us at convention-ticketing@origamiusa.org. Reach out to us. We'd be happy to help you. And good luck getting all the classes you want. And I hope to see you at convention.